I'm not feeling good today. And I would not usually make a video like this, but I feel like sometimes it's important to share your terrible days as well, especially if you've watched some of my videos and you've seen kind of the stories of personal empowerment that we share and we speak of. And I think you're probably going through ups and downs. You're having your hard times, right? And I mean, I'm much further along in my time in terms of my transition now. I've done a lot to help myself, take care of myself financially, emotionally, all of that stuff. But that doesn't mean I live a perfect life. And so that's kind of like why I'm making this video today. Because I'm just human, you're just human, we're not perfect. And I know that I hold myself up to certain standards that make me feel like I should be perfect. But you know that, I mean, how do you treat yourself? You know that it's not a real thing that you can attain to be perfect. An idealized form kind of draws you towards an ideal that can help you prioritize and think about what you want, right? What is that ideal form for you? What is that ideal life? What do you want to look like? What do you want to be like? How do you want to feel? How are you getting it? How are you seeking it? How are you making it come into life? You know, it's funny because I look at where I am now and where I want to be, and I'm not there. But if I look at where I am now and I look 3 years back, I am exactly where I wanted to be. I have the life that I was dreaming of 3 years ago. But now that I'm here, I'm dreaming of the life that I want 3 years from now. It's funny how that works. Perhaps, just perhaps, maybe I was never thinking of actually trying to get to this place, but I was dreaming of being somewhere else. And that's what drives me to where I go and how I get there. Because to me, I think beyond the dream is the adventure of pursuing the dream. The feeling of living life where you feel like you're enriched on some kind of adventure, some kind of change, transformation. That's exciting. It's so exciting to transition. It's so exciting because you get to see the world in such a different way. And you get to change and maneuver and go through an entire transformative process of changing your brain, changing how you act, you speak, you experience the world. It's a beautiful thing. But sometimes it has its downs. You know? Where are you? How are you feeling today? What are you going through? Where's your bottom, your trough? Where's your up? How are you moving between these spaces? How are you catching yourself when you're down? How are you lifting yourself up? And then when you're up, how are you celebrating that? How are you experiencing that? One of the things that I found most surprising in my own personal experience is I used to have very high highs, and as a consequence, I had very low lows. Life is like a sine wave. It goes up and down. And what I've noticed is that the more that you embrace these highs in a way where you allow yourself to get high, the more your brain seems to recalibrate and allow you to have really low lows. So my own experience, I've been experimenting with trying to figure out how to achieve higher highs without the consequence of lower lows. Do you know what I mean? How are you going through that? Are you experiencing that sine wave of your experience? I think what I have discovered in doing this is that you still have these waves, but it's the way that you move through that down curve and the bottom that really changes your experience of life. because I would probably spend just as much time in my lows as much as my highs. But what I try to do now is I try not to hold back, and I try to just cry and allow myself to fluidly move through the low in a way that's not quickly as possible, but gracefully. Because quickly as possible would kind of imply that I'm trying to get out of it, that I'm trying to move through it, I'm trying to bypass that emotional experience. You can't bypass your own emotional experience. If you're feeling down, then there's going to be a part of you that really needs to be acknowledged. And if you don't acknowledge this part, it's going to make you feel false. It's going to give you a sense of inauthenticity, and it's going to be kind of like violence to yourself. It is violence to yourself. It's going to be pulling you back from feeling what you're actually feeling, because it's coming up in your own body to be processed. And if you try to ignore it, you're kind of shoving it into a box and letting it sit there. And how's that work for you if you put things into a box and try to ignore them, right? It's just unprocessable. I'm going to keep this video short, so thank you for joining me. Thank you to all my Patreon subscribers for supporting me. And if you'd like to support me, you can support me on Patreon. I also have a book, which you can now get. Whoa! And here it is. It's in the link below. Here's the picture. It's for those that are transitioning. And yeah, if you want it, it's there. Please support me. It's nice to see you today. Let's close up with a little bit of love. I'm sending you some love, some hugs, and support. I'll see you in another episode. Bye.